What's up, everybody? It's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, one of the original road warlords, and as always, bringing you the knowledge and dropping the science in this industry of what we call trucking. Okay, um, doing this particular video, I'm doing this particular video and stuff. This is in conjunction with those that purchase their own trucks or decide that they want to go into a lease program, right? People are kind of, they kind of on the fence and stuff as to what company they want to go to and stuff. What's a good carrier to lease on with? Well, let me do a great process of elimination. In order for you to be profitable as a lease operator, the people that you work with, have to have the same, if not more, to lose than yourself. It's a phrase that's often put out there, in the business world. When you're talking about doing partnerships, you see, and this what it is. When you're in a lease, you're in a partnership, and see that partnership has to consist of people, right, that are in your day-to-days, that are, helping you along in your business. They have to have the same, if not more, to lose than yourself. You see, when you decide to go out here and get you a CPA, what's a good CPA? A person that has the same, if not more, to lose. If their reputation is on the line based upon how they calculate and do your taxes. You see, when you go into a corporation, right, where you have a group of employees, and stuff, then employees are only going to do what's told to them. That's it. They're not going to show any type of initiative to go above and beyond, for the sake of business, because a lot of it's above their pay grade. A lot of them, it's above their pay grade. They're not interested in that. They're just interested in doing a job and making sure that their paycheck is there on Friday. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to think back when you was an employee, you only did your job. That was it. You didn't take any type of initiative, to get into the day-to-day operation to see what costs money, what saved money, so on and so forth. When you was making that transition, into becoming a lease operator and stuff, then you became more concerned about, what it means and stuff, to operate a business. But when you're an employee, those things and stuff don't matter. Hey, listen, all I'm here for and stuff is to do the miles. I'm just here to do the miles and stuff like that so I can get paid on Friday, which I say, as a company driver, you should never be worried about anything as a company driver and stuff. Hey, just do your job, that's that and stuff, But as an own operator or as a lease driver, you see, a phrase that's often thrown out here in the trucking world is that, operate your business just like you were when you was a company driver. That is the wrong narrative to have. You see, when you decide to take on becoming a lease operator, right? Everything that you did as a company driver and stuff, you got to do reverse. You got to be the complete opposite of what you were when you was a company driver. You see what I'm saying? When you had, you was an employee, you had a dispatcher and stuff like that. They didn't really care about the day-to-days and stuff like that. Your conversation was, hey, get me miles and stuff, and that's what they would do. That's what they would do for the most part. But then, when you make this transition now into becoming a lease operator, now everything that you do is going to constitute what kind of settlement you're going to get. And stuff, And so everything is imperative. You're going to have to micromanage. Everything down to the penny. Because that's what's going to determine this stuff, what kind of settlement you make. I'm like this, say, if my settlement is 1 penny, if it is 1 cent wrong, I make them redo my settlement all over again. I make the payroll people do my settlement all over again. I say I refuse to get paid until my settlement is done right, all the way down to the penny. You know, whether they owe me or whether I owe them. That's how I take care. That's how I take care of business. I'm like, I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to be in debt to any company, and no company's going to be in debt to me. That's how I take care of my business. Because, you know, if a person screws that up, right? If they screw those little things up and stuff there, then just imagine what they could do on a large scale. Imagine what they can do on a large scale. Now, you know, I used to be with, you know, it's no secret now and stuff. I used to be with Big Rock Transportation, which was, you know, associate of Roadrunner. And one of the problems that I was running into when they made that transition was that they were screwing up my settlements. And so, you know, I had a talk with them, and I told them, listen, this can't continue. You know, this can't continue and stuff. And so, you know, it used to be when I was over there, you know, it was a partnership, which means that the people that was there had just as much to lose as I did. They had the same to lose. Some of them had more to lose than I did. So that they mean they're going to always be up on their business. They're going to always be up on their business every single time. Every single time. They weren't, you know, they didn't have an employee mentality. But when they made the transition with Roadrunner, when they made the complete transition with Roadrunner, a lot of them became employees. And when they became employees, they do what employees do. Is that they're only focused on, you know, the task at hand, and that's it. They're not trying to put any kind of initiative into doing anything and stuff to make sure that the day-to-days and stuff go as smooth as it's supposed to. They're not interested in business. You see, their job is just to come in, do the task at hand, and that's that. You know, if it get messed up and stuff, then I'll get to it when I get to it. If someone calls it out and stuff, then, you know, yeah, I'll get to it that way. You know, the operations and stuff was the same way. You know, operations used to be where they didn't get paid. You know, how they got paid was based upon the load that they found. You see what I'm saying? So you was in a partnership with them. You know, they find the load, you know, they will find the load and stuff. And so, you know, there had to be an agreement between you and them and stuff, and you start talking business. You throw numbers at them, they throw numbers at you, and then if everything made sense and stuff, then, you know, you go ahead and get the load. But you see, you know, when that part of stuff was over with and they became employees, then you see, you know, they're not interested anymore and stuff in, you know, finding loads and stuff, or, you know, they're showing the initiative into finding freight. You know, they didn't have to worry about that anymore. You know, whether they move one truck, 20 trucks and stuff, you know, their paycheck was still going to be the same on Friday. And so, you know, with you running your business, you can't be like that. You can't have or be running yourself in a company driver mentality and stuff, and you're a lease driver. You know, your day-to-days, your operations and stuff, everything that you do is based upon, you know, it's based upon your day-to-days. You know, you have to be, you know, from the loads that you run, from the routes that you take, you know, some of the customers that you serve, those things there and stuff, they're imperative. They're imperative and stuff. And so, you know, when you have an operations team that don't have anything to lose and stuff, and this is what happens a lot of times, why people fail so much and stuff in the leases, because the people that you're supposed to be partnered up with, they're employees. You know, they're employees. So, you know, they're not worried about anything except their paycheck they're going to get on Friday. That's it. You know, hey, listen, they got objectives. And stuff. And as long as the objectives and stuff is met, then they ain't got nothing to worry about. They don't have to worry about, you know, they're not worried about losing their job or nothing like that. You know, you could come in there, they can have a high turnover rate and stuff. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because their paycheck is still going to be the same on Friday. You know, and that's the gist of it. You cannot have no employees on your team. You can't have no employees on your team because you see, when it's time for accountability to come into play, when somebody makes a decision and somebody makes a decision and it happens to be the wrong one, okay, then it's time for people to take accountability. And so with accountability, there's going to be consequences behind that action. And when the consequences don't sum up to anything, oh, well, it's no reprimand, no nothing, then you see people can afford, they can go and they can make as many mistakes and stuff as possible. Oh, well, I don't have to worry about my employment being in jeopardy. I don't have to worry about my, I don't have to worry about my check and stuff being messed with. None of that stuff. That's why I tell people, don't worry, when you go into shippers and consignees and when you're dealing with lumpers and stuff like that, you know what type of business that they have, because when they start nitpicking about the little small things, right? When they're making things extremely difficult than what it has to be, you're dealing with an employee, because there's no consequence for them holding up business. There's no consequence for them holding up business. That's why when you go to places, they hold you up 3 or 4 hours, because there's no consequence behind it. It's just a bunch of employees and stuff that get paid by the hour. So don't waste your time, energy, and resource with back and forth, the back and forths and stuff with employees. That's what they're still getting paid. You're going over here and you're arguing and you're fussing with them. They're still getting paid by the hour. So don't waste your time, energy, and resources, especially if you know that you're not getting paid by the hour. And it's no sense of saying that, well, I'm going to get detention, because, heck, getting detention is almost like pulling teeth. It changes. You got 2 hours here, 4 hours here, some are 6 hours. Some say that they don't even pay. So, your time, energy, and resources just being wasted at that point. And anytime you go into a place of business, when you see this type of behavior, don't involve yourself in it. Make things as quick as possible, make your conversation short, to the point, and, go into business, take care of business. That's what you have to do. But dealing with the employees and stuff, man, their objective is to ride that clock. That's it. Ride that clock and stuff. And so, if there's if people start asking questions, what's the first thing they put it on? Oh, well, the truck driver. Well, these truck drivers come in here and stuff, and they hold these conversations, and they're very disrespectful. They're very disrespectful and stuff like that. Anything to make sure that they don't get in trouble. Now, how you're dealing with some business people when you go into the business and they get right to the point. They're not worried about appointments. They're not worried about appointments and stuff like that. You're here. Let's take care of business. Let's get this freight and stuff off this truck, because you have product on your trailer, right? The stuff that I ordered that's going to help me further along in my business. So, if you got it here a little bit sooner than expected, then that's all the greater stuff. Come on in here. Let me go ahead and get this stuff on off here, because you got places to go. You got money that got to be made. I got money that's got to be made and stuff. So, sitting here wasting time and stuff, that's irrelevant at this point. They are totally fixated about business. When they're talking about things, they like, hey, listen, things that's pertaining and dealing with money. They're talking about the day-to-day operations and stuff, about what's going on in the world, to some, that's going to constitute wealth. They're talking about money. Their conversations and stuff is about money. When you go in there, they're not, they're not on Facebook and Instagram and all these other places and stuff. When they're in this place of business, they always have something to do. They're on the phone taking orders. They're on the phone taking orders and stuff. They're typing on the computer and stuff like that. They're around there doing something that's constituting to business. And so when you get there and stuff, they're ready to get to you right away and stuff. They see you. They already got the dark doors open and stuff. Yeah, come on, pull on in here. And stuff. They got the forklifts and stuff, at the ready. They can't wait for you to back up to that dock. You see, these are people that you need. These are people that you need to get to know. These are people that you need to get to know and stuff. If they have the time, but again, they make the time based upon the conversation that you have. If you speak like an employee, they don't have time for you. You're going in there talking about the football game or the basketball game and none of that stuff. No, when you go in and start talking about business, those things that's going to make some money, now they got time, energy, and resource. They like, all right, we're going to pick your brain to see what you're about. Because if you say the right things, they're saying, well, hey, look, you understand this thing like I do and stuff. You're in it just like I am. So let's see if we can get together and do this on a consistent basis. Because I'm so tired of dealing with, I'm tired of dealing with employees. Those that know. So, don't waste your time, energy, and resources. Your time, energy, and resource with people that are not fixated about business. So in a lease, if you got a dispatcher, you got a load planner, or you're even going into this person's operation, and their operation is built upon a bunch of employees that's supposed to be your partners, you will fail. You will fail because they are not interested in anything except their paycheck on Friday. That's it. Prime example. I see RST is on the chopping block. Everybody was talking all good about RST. And I'm like, I seen some people say some good things, seen them say some bad things, but the folk that's over there, whether it's Trucker Brown, whether it's Trucker Brown and stuff, he was 3 weeks in the hole. He went up on social media, 3 weeks in the hole. Party Hard, he done left. Little guy trucker, he gone. Woody, 10 trucks. This man go from 1 truck to 10 trucks to no trucks. Just, to make money, he putting Qualcomms in this guy truck. RST, that's a prime example. Now, and like I said, if Chris has a problem and stuff, then like I said, I'm willing to have an open discussion, an open debate about his operations and stuff. Because, to me, it's very funny style when people going over there. You got big YouTube personalities and stuff, and man, and everyone that's going over there isn't making any money. They ready to work and stuff, but they're all saying the same thing. Hey, listen, I take a little time off. When I come back, I'm punished. I'm punished. And see, in a lease operation, they can do stuff like that. They can do stuff like that to hurt your day-to-days. It's not hard to make money out here. It's not. I'm in a lease too and stuff, but best believe if I go home, I know what I'm facing. And I know what I got to face and stuff in order to get myself out the hole if I decide to go into the hole. And so one of the things and stuff that I said that I was going to do, right? In order for me to go over here and be a lease operator for you, I have to have control just like you have control. If you can look for freight, I can look for freight too. That's one of the setting narratives and stuff. When I decided to go into this thing full fledged, when I was with Big Rock, that was the same thing. They find freight, but I can also find freight too. And the thing is that after a certain amount of time and stuff, usually after 10:30, I got myself set up, on 2 loads. That's how I operate. I make a phone call to you. If you tell me you don't have no loads and stuff, I'm not going to be calling you back every 5-10 minutes seeing if you got anything, or every hour or something like that. You got one. When I call you, you got one time to tell me what's your issue and stuff like that. Okay, I don't have nothing now. Give me 30 minutes. That's what I'm going to give you, 30 minutes. After that, if I call you back and you don't have nothing in 30 minutes, then I already know what to do. I already know by proxy I need to find something else. So, if I find something before you, then we got to go with mine. Now, if you find something before me, then okay. And if we happen to find something at the same time, then that's when we have a discussion. We start crunching numbers and see which is the best, which is the best move to make. Okay, my load may be paying more money, but it puts me in a bad spot. Your load may be paying less money, but it sets me up and stuff to go get another load and stuff that's in the area, that's in-house. Those things are contributing factors, in-house, out-house. Okay, if I'm, if you're offering me a load and it's something that's in-house, that means you got a contract with it, then hey, I have to take your load by default. I'm gonna take it by default and stuff because that's what I'm here to do. But if I'm calling broken, you calling broken, then hey, look, hey, we're just crunching numbers at this point and stuff to see, okay, which one is gonna be paying the most. But I got to have just as much as control. I got to have just as much as control as you do and stuff as far as talking about freight. Hey, look, what's your MC numbers? Who are you approved carriers with? So when I start going on the board and start setting up these loads and stuff like that, and that's what I'm going to do because I'm not going to be sitting around. I have a 7-day operation. 7 days. I don't work 5 days. I work 7 days. That means on the weekends and stuff, I'm looking for loads too. Looking for something Friday, delivering Saturday, Saturday delivering Sunday, Sunday delivering Monday. My day-to-days and stuff like that has got to be taken care of to a point because my expenses come out every Monday. My expenses come out every Monday and stuff. And when those expenses hit, I'm not going to be in the hole. I'm going to pay those expenses and stuff, and that's that. I'm not going to be in the hole. Even when I take time off and stuff, I go out here, set things up and stuff like that. Some loads and stuff I'll tell to pay out. Some stuff I say go ahead and pay it. Go ahead and close this out, but set it up for next week stuff. Set it up for next week stuff because I'm taking this amount of time off and stuff, and when I come back, I'm not going to be in the hole. I'm not going to be in the hole and stuff. I'm not going to have that type of pressure and stuff that's on me. All debts are going to be paid. But when I'm talking to a person and they talking about, man, because I went home, we're not even having that conversation. We're not even having that conversation stuff about if I decide to go home and stuff or this, that, or whatever, it's just simply the business at hand. And that's it. It's just simply the business at hand. I'm not gonna have a conversation and stuff about, what can you do to improve this or what can you do to improve that. I'm not fixated on that because my thing is when I go somewhere, if I don't make the type of money I need to make and stuff, then the fault is on me. It's not on the people, the people that I deal with and stuff. It's not on them because they're not gonna have that type of hold on me and stuff to where they can totally shut my business down. You see, when you making a phone call and then you calling the company, I just heard that conversation. I heard that conversation with Party Hard, man. I'm like, dude, and that's just no way to run a business, man. I mean, when you got to call somebody and stuff, and they're telling you, because you went home, and they're telling you the deadhead 800 some miles and stuff like that. You got to be able to look and see things. They talking about deadhead over here. You got to be able to go up here and see things just like they see things. Okay, what you got between this, there, whatever. Because, if their cut is 20%, if their cut is 20% or whatever, if you're on percentage, then hey man, Chris operation and stuff is like, all right, he telling you to go to Arkansas. That 800-mile deadhead, you eating that. You eating that and stuff. So I mean, hey, if the load is over there in if you in Georgia and the load is in Arkansas and it's paying $3 a mile over there, then hey, it's still gonna be $3 a mile. To him, it's gonna be $3 to him, it's gonna be $3 to Prime. It ain't gonna be $3 to you. When they telling you to do stuff like that, man, that's an operation right there that's based upon failure. That's a fact. when they're telling you to do stuff, and you know he wasn't the only one. When JB Smooth was Prime, it was the same thing. It was the same thing and stuff. And I'm like, you know, these guys, they just don't have the ability to go up here and to look for loads and stuff. If you telling me the deadhead over here, well, this is where all the freight and stuff is at, then okay, let me set myself up to go over here to Arkansas. I got to be able to see things and stuff just like you're able to see things. That way I can set myself up. Cause I just can't go over here for the sake of going. You see, you know, you drive the 800 miles and stuff. Now it's different if I could drive and I didn't have to log it or none of that stuff there. But you know, shoot, 800 miles and stuff. I mean, that's easily eating 2 days up. That's easily eating 2 days up of my week that I'm not going to see any money for and stuff until I get to the area that you want me to get to. They're not paying you to go over there, none of that crap there. I don't understand, like, you know, and I just see a lot of operations and stuff for like that. You don't have to do that, man. That's the thing I'm saying. I don't even understand, you know, to be honest with you, I don't understand why a person will have their own truck and then run some OTR. I'm talking about running from the East Coast to the West Coast. I don't understand that operation there. I do not understand that operation. I'm like, man, you know, it's about getting into a lane. It's about getting in that lane and stuff and mastering that lane. You know, when I said that I'm going to run the East Coast, that's it. That's all I've been running. That's all I've been running and stuff, man, for the last 8 years. That's all I run is the East Coast. I can't tell you. The only time I went west was to go pick up this truck. That was it. The only time I've been west was to go pick up this truck from Fort Worth. And that was that's well over 2.5 years ago. I said that I was going to, at first, I was saying that, you know, maybe I might start running out there and stuff. Maybe I might start running out there. But when I start getting in the groove of things, I'm like, nope, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I went hooked up to my trailer and stuff, and that's that. I mean, you know, the furthest west I've been, is Buffalo, New York. That's the furthest west I've been and stuff. So, you know, if you if you sit there and you look at a map, everything on 81 and stuff, and that's the borderline right there. 81, everything east of that, that's what I run. Anything west of it, I don't do it. I don't do it and stuff, you know, and there's some cutoffs and stuff. I don't do Tennessee. I don't do Western Virginia. I don't do the western part of Virginia. Don't do that crap. I do not do it. I'm strictly East Coast. That's it. New Jersey, New York, you know. So that's why I've been doing this stuff the whole time. So, you know, somebody messaged me about my last video that I did, right? Talking about, you know, I'm incriminating myself. You know, this a little side note. Incriminating myself, man, listen. Where do you think I've been running? Where do you think I've been running? New York and New Jersey. You see what I'm saying? Is that, you know, I'm not incriminating myself. You're trying to incriminate me because you're insinuating that I've done something which I said I didn't do. What I said that I do there was incriminating. Only thing I said I did, I had my equipment has cancer, and I went to a doctor to have surgery to have the cancer removed. That's it. Nothing else. You know, so if you say, you know, if anybody insinuates anything else and stuff, I correct them. I'm like, no. You know, when you start talking about, oh, did you get something deleted? Did you get something deleted? I don't know anything about that and stuff. I understand the laws, rules, and regulations that go with that. But of course not. I mean, I understand that. But no, I didn't get anything deleted. My equipment has cancer because my equipment had cancer and it was very sick. And instead of me going to get treatments, I went to a cure center. I went to a doctor and they cured my equipment of that illness that was pretty much killing me, and it was killing my business. Now my equipment is running more efficient. It's been over a year now and stuff. And so, but I mean, as far as incriminating what, because I went and said that, because I said I went and got some cancer removed from my equipment. There's no laws against that. You go in any law book and stuff and say, well, okay, find where I can't remove cancer. I went to a wellness center and I didn't get no treatment. See, when I was going to Hartford, Connecticut and all this stuff, see, that was treatment centers. I went and got a cure. I went and got a cure for my illness. There's no law against that. So no, I'm not taking the video down. I'm not taking that down and stuff. That's as a side note and stuff there. But I told people, that's why some forums are private. Because of those very things and stuff. People are always insinuating that you're doing something and you're not. You're clear, your conversation is what it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. Now, you're going to make anything more of it, then you're by yourself on that. I think that everything that I say, that I talk about, I'm very clear about it. When I'm talking about something specifically, I talk about something specifically, like RST. I'm talking about those guys specifically because they are having a problem over there. Guys are having some problems over there, whether it's Trucker Brown, whether it's Party Hard, whether it's Woody. These guys are having problems over there because of the operation. And you see, that right there is a representation of what people face when they go into a lease. They talking about, well, I'm going over here to this company or that company. What are they? The dispatcher that's finding you the load and stuff, how is he getting paid? Every Friday? Is he getting paid every Friday and stuff? Then how does he get paid? Because if he's getting paid by the hour, then you got an employee and stuff. And the thing is that a lot of employees are very emotional. They're very emotional. And the things that they do are going to cost you money. I'm talking about heavy dollars. It's just like when I go, these lumper services and stuff that I go to. I go in there and they quote me a price. They talking about they need to check before they even do the work. I said, nope, you do the work first, and then I'll pay you after everything is said and done. I say it's a reason for that. Because see, when I cut you the check, I'm expect you to do the work. And if you feel like something should be paid extra, I'm not coming out of pocket for nothing else. Because that's not how you handle business. That's not how you handle business. A business person and stuff will tell you, okay, this is the estimate right here. This is the estimate right here and stuff. Some of it may go up based upon the work and stuff that I do. You go into an agreement to say, okay, you go into an agreement, and if there's any extra, then before he goes and continue on with the task, he lets you know what's going on. Okay, listen, this is the problem that we ran into and stuff like that. In order to resolve this issue, I can take care of it. This is how much extra is going to cost. Okay, and I don't see any more problems and stuff after that, so I can go ahead and give you a final price. These are the type of issues and stuff that I've run into. That's what business people do. When I get to these lumper services, I tell them all the time, man, no, I'm not paying. You do. I agree to pay you for whatever work and stuff that you do. If you run into any issues or whatever stuff, then I give you total and complete authority to take care of the task at hand, to make sure that the load gets empty. And then once you set the final price, then I'll go ahead and I'll cut you the check. I'll cut you the check and stuff because, I had to explain to this person, but again, they're an employee, so they don't understand. She tells me one price, and I'm telling her that, man, listen, I don't know what you're going to run into and stuff, but if I cut this check, I'm not going to cut you another one, because in order for me to cut this check, it's going to cost me $25. Okay? So then if you find something else, I got to cut you another check I got to get that check. I got to get that check cut off. That's going to cost me another $25. Then I got to cut you another check for another $25. So I got $75 in. You see, now, what I was explaining was, You see, because of your mistake, it can possibly cost me $75. You see, but if I made a mistake, and then the mistake was going to start costing you money, you'll be just as cautious as I am. But see, when you don't have anything to lose, right? Okay, well, it's going to be extra this. It's going to be extra this, and we can only take one check. You see what I'm saying? Because, these checks and stuff like that, they want to charge you something now that they're getting for free, obviously. Oh, well, it's a $4 transaction fee. If you don't have your other check, then that's another $5. That sort of nonsense and stuff there. But see, when you start micromanaging your business and saying, well, listen, all right, the mistake that you make can possibly cost me some money. I say, explain that. Explain that to me. If what I did could cost you money, it's not costing me anything. It's going to cost you something based upon a mistake that I made. You'll be very cautious too. Not only would you be very cautious, you be almost, depending on what you got to pay, you'll almost be ready to knock my head off. $75, $75, I mean, for you, that's a whole day's pay. That's a whole day's pay and stuff. You count, and, when you work, you're counting on that money because you got things you got to do with it. That's a fact. So I'm not going to be playing with anyone's money. But I would appreciate it if you didn't do me like that. That's why a lot of people get hurt, man. When you start playing with somebody's money, you're asking for death. To be honest with you, you're asking for death. When you start playing with a person's money, because, they got time, energy, and now they want the resource from the time and the energy and stuff that they spent on the task at hand when you could have simply said, hey, listen, this is something that I can't pay for. This is something that I can't afford and stuff. It's like, well, all right, fine. Before I put my time, my energy into it and stuff, okay, at least you were being honest. Let me go somewhere else. That, I could be compensated for the services that I render. Money is serious business. And there's nothing out here that will get you messed up more than messing over a person's money. So that's the thing there and stuff. Your day-to-days and stuff have to be based upon people who have the same, if not more, to lose than you. That's the whole premise of business. When you go into a partnership with somebody, these leases and stuff like that. Oh, well, I got a dispatcher and stuff, and they having a bad day, or I got this dispatcher. I got to like, they got to like me. There's a lot of people in business. In business, there's plenty of people out here in business world that I do not like. I don't like them. I don't like them, and they don't like me. But that's not the premise of business. The premise of business and stuff is that the service that I render. The service that I render, that's what you gotta like. You don't have to like me as an individual. You don't have to like me as an individual, because as an individual, I'm not gonna give you the opportunity to get into my personal stuff. My thing is based upon my business is based upon the service that I render. That's what you gotta like. In order for me to continue to get business, you might not even like. Like I said, there's a lot of people I don't like as individuals. I don't like their get downs and stuff like that. But the thing is that I don't get down with them personally. It's their business. It's their business that I'm after. That's the thing there and stuff. But hey, we can't do business and stuff. Hey man, the heck with it. It's just like when I went into this place. I went into this place this morning to go purchase fuel. I don't like the guy. I don't like it. I do not like the guy personally. But the thing was and stuff that made me move away. The thing that made me move away from him from a business perspective, when he started talking about, I went in there, I showed him my card, I told him exactly what I need. I needed reefer fuel. I needed fuel for my reefer. He tells me I got to spend, if I'm going to use my card, then I got to have 40 gallons. I got to spend 40 gallons. I'm like, man, my reefer is going to take 40 gallons. Bye. I'll go somewhere else. Simple as that and stuff. And so as I was walking away, now he wants to talk business. There's no business to talk about. Because you just showed yourself to be more emotional than business. When you're from a business perspective and stuff, I mean, the thing is that, I'm in here to get a service, and I'm compensating you for this service. But you're telling me I got to get something that I clearly don't need, right? Then, hey, I just go elsewhere. But I know now stuff not to even go into the facility anymore for anything else. Just bypass the place and stuff. And so, I'm just go somewhere else and just make sure when I'm in that area, I don't have no reason to stop there. I have no reason to stop there. Ran into, again, another situation. A guy was, it was a full service place. He was pumping fuel. He was pumping fuel. I was trying to break change and stuff. I was trying to, get some change for the guy. So I went in there, after purchasing this fuel, he had the register open. I said, man, hey, listen, can you break this 20? He tells me I got to go outside. He tells me I have to go outside and stuff. I said, hey, don't worry about it. But what I said is, because of what you did, it kept this other man from getting some money. It kept him from getting some money and stuff. So, hey, I showed him my receipt. I showed him my receipt. I jumped in the truck and I took off. And they be wondering and stuff like, hey, look, sometimes they got to get paid off tips. I'm not about to give this man my whole 20. I'm not about to give him my whole 20 and stuff, but because of what he did, because he called himself trying to be emotional, right? Trying to be emotional and stuff and say, hey, ain't no sweat off my back, because what you did just kept this man right here and stuff from making some money. That's why I always got to be in a business mindset all the time, because, the people around me and stuff, man, that's how they're going to get paid too. This how they're going to keep their doors and stuff open. Like I said, I don't like a person. I don't have to like you personally. But I'm fixated on the business aspect of things and stuff. So we're talking about money. Those things and stuff that's going to create capital. Anything other than that and stuff, I got my closest people who I talk to. My few friends and stuff that I have, that's what they're going to be, my few friends. But, as for everyone else and stuff, everything's going to be based upon business. We're talking about those things and stuff, man, that's going to put some dollars. That's going to put some dollars in your pocket, dollars in my pocket, and dollars overall and stuff. We ain't talking about that and stuff, then everything else is irrelevant. That's a fact. That's why I say, I just feel bad and stuff for guys and stuff that are in those operations and stuff there. And just know, man, listen, hey, there's better ways of doing things and stuff. And I'm like, man, that's why my whole platform and stuff is here. To point you in the right direction, to tell you, okay, all right, this is the type of place you need to take your truck over to. Because they're about business. They ain't about, YouTube fame and recognition and all that other stuff there. Because at the end of the day, they're going to tell on themselves what kind of company they are. This guy right here and stuff, he's over here, but he's leased on the Prime. He's leased on the Prime and stuff. And, hey, one of the 48 laws of power is to never outshine the master. You can never outshine the master and stuff. And so, shoot, he's over here and everybody's talking about going over here to RST instead of going to Prime. And they're basically the same. They basically haul the same freight. He's a subsidiary of this company. Like, man, many people are going over here and stuff, and they ain't going over here. This is bad for my business because, heck, I'm over here. I'm getting these trucks and stuff like that. And these things, these trucks, they sit over here, ain't they being unmanned? Somebody got to pay for them. Somebody got to pay for them, even if I'm not paying, the same as somebody that's in a lease. But the thing is that I got equipment that's there and it ain't doing anything. It's got to be making money. If it ain't making no money, it's costing me. Somebody going to have to pay for it, and then eventually it's going to be coming out of my pocket. They got a Prime truck there, and then they got an RST truck there and stuff. Which one going to move first? So, man, you shouldn't be putting yourself in no position like that and stuff because that's what happens. Oh, well, hey, listen, your load counts, but that Prime truck moving. Because it won't but one load. It was two of y'all, one load and stuff. Somebody going to leave today, somebody going to leave tomorrow. Guess who's going to take the hit? Those contracts and stuff, they belong to Prime. But, guys go over there and stuff, and for whatever reason, they feel like, man, shoot, hey, and I'm not understanding it. Like I said, I mean, hey, Chris, he is who he is and stuff, but, everybody that's going over there and stuff ain't doing so hot. They were doing hot at first, but they ain't doing so hot now. That's why I say, why you don't go out and expose certain people and stuff like that. They're going to expose themselves. I don't have to make any kind of video and stuff against them. I mean, they're going to expose themselves with the people that's over there. They're going to set their tone and stuff, and then when the truth come out, man, shoot, them dollars, and when they start missing them dollars, they ain't making them settlements and stuff like they supposed to. They ain't making consistently, and them bills and stuff started catching up because, hey, ain't nobody no millionaire out here. You sit over here doing these loads going from the East Coast to the West Coast, and then when now it's time to get paid and everything, you in the negative. You doing this daggone work and you in the negative. That's a bad feeling, man. I know I've been there. When I was with National Carriers is just like, they probably worse than Prime. They worse than Prime. Trust me, I've been there. Doing all that work and stuff, and then at the end of the daggone week, I ain't got nothing to show for it. Doing these loads and stuff, man. And know they got money in them, but I can't see it. But, that's what I work myself towards and stuff. And so now, I see everything. And stuff to a point where I already know my expense, I already know what my expenses are. It doesn't fluctuate or nothing like that. That's why, it's no mystery to me. I only talk to settlements one time and stuff, and the only thing I'm talking to them about is, hey, did y'all receive the paperwork? That's it. Either that, the only two problems, and they ain't really problems and stuff, but the only two things and stuff that I call the settlements about is that, and I really don't even do that. One is the paperwork issue, and then sometimes they've been overpaying me. And stuff like that. Like, yeah, I call these things and stuff out. Why? Because when you do your checks and your balances and you see that, well, okay, I've been overpaid and stuff like that, you're going to want your money right then. No, I call it out right then. I don't want you coming back no 6 or no 7 months and none of that stuff there. I'm like, this is that. I only want to get paid for the work that I do. That's it. Doggone, man. Well, normally drivers and stuff don't do that. Well, drivers don't do that. Business people do. Because I'm not going to take any money that's especially if it's something for some work that I know I didn't do. I learned that lesson when I was an employee. I'm not going to wait no 6 or 7 months and stuff and worry about, hey, I got overpaid on something. When I see I've been overpaid, I call it out right then. Okay, listen, nope, I don't want that settlement. I'm cutting my card off and stuff the way you can't deposit anything. You get this money on off here. You get this stuff worked out. Oh, well, you could just have it. We'll get it next week. No, you get it right now. Because it ain't going to be a next week. Next week ain't guaranteed and stuff. I'm not that arrogant. I only want to get paid for the work that I do. That's that. Because the thing is that when you overpaying me, that's money out of your pocket. And some way you're going to have to recoup that and stuff. And then that's why these fees go up. And stuff because these books and stuff weren't done correctly. So in order to recoup that money, they got to get it from somewhere. They keep taking too many losses and stuff, man. They're going to have them doors closed like Celadon. See? Why Celadon failed? Because they had too many employees and stuff that was over them books that was managing that money. Because if it was business people that was managing that money, that business would still be up and operational today. That's why a lot of these businesses are failing, because the people that are in charge, they just employees. They ain't worried about the money. Oh, well, this costs this. Okay, fine. Let's go and get it. This costs this. Let's go ahead and get it. They don't have the complete total understanding about the business day-to-days and stuff and how things work. That's why their businesses fail. Too many employees. Business people got to be in charge of business things and stuff. That's why millionaires stay millionaires. That's why billionaires stay billionaires. because the people that are in charge of those day-to-days, that's in charge of that money, are making sure that every dollar is accounted for all the way down to the penny. That's a fact. So, fellas, like I said, don't put yourself in 2020, don't put yourself in a position where employees are in charge of your day-to-days. If you're going to make any money out here and stuff, then the people that are in charge, the people that you go in partnership with, have to have the same, if not more, to lose than yourself. If they're not doing that, then you're definitely on the path to failure. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and end on that note. It's your man right here, Rhode Island Red Rooster. Check me out on Instagram, which is Rhode Island Red Rooster 22. Rhode Island Red Rooster 22 on Instagram. I'm always posting up things about my 2013 Freightliner Cascadia. And sometimes I post up the words of wisdom. My contact information is on my YouTube page. Feel free to hit me up. I do say text me first. Let me know who you are. Let me know what the subject matter is and stuff. That way I can get back with you, let you know when I'll be free and available, so that when we do talk, we can go into constructive dialogue. With that being said, this your man right here, the one and only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster. Continue to do your research, fact-finding studies. Harness on your skills every day. Until next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.